They weren't fully human, and they weren't fully divine. Giants who walked the earth, defying the natural order. Creatures so mysterious their very existence has baffled scholars and believers for centuries. And here's the part no one talks about. We might still be living with their shadow today. The Nephilim, mentioned briefly in the Bible, yet their presence is felt across ancient texts, myths, and even modern-day conspiracy theories. Who were they? Why were they here? And most importantly, what happened to them? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and controversial stories in human history, unpacking not just what the ancient texts say, but also the chilling questions they leave behind. Stay with me, because this one is going to leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the ancient world. The story of the Nephilim begins in one of the most cryptic passages in the Bible, Genesis 6:4. It says, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown." That's it. One verse, a few vague phrases, and a world of questions. Who were the sons of God? What does it mean that they had children with human women? And why were these offspring so significant that they were given a name, the Nephilim? Was this a supernatural event, a metaphor, or something far stranger? Let's start with the basics. The term Nephilim comes from the Hebrew root nephal, meaning to fall. Many scholars interpret this as the fallen ones. This raises an immediate question. Were these beings fallen angels? Some believe the sons of God in Genesis refer to a group of angels who rebelled against divine order. This interpretation gains traction when you look at other ancient texts, like the Book of Enoch, a non-canonical Jewish text. In Enoch, the story is expanded. It speaks of 200 watchers, angels tasked with observing humanity, who descended to earth, seduced women, and fathered monstrous offspring. These offspring, the Nephilim, were described as giants, often violent and corrupt, wreaking havoc on humanity. But what did the Nephilim look like? The Bible doesn't give us a physical description, but other texts paint a vivid picture. They were enormous, some said as tall as cedar trees. Their strength was unmatched, and their intellect, too, was said to be far beyond human. This made them not just physically intimidating, but also dangerous in influence. There's also the theory that their giant nature wasn't just about size. It symbolized their dominance over humanity. In a world where the divine and mortal collided, these beings stood as a terrifying reminder of a boundary crossed. Here's where things get darker. Many believe the Nephilim's corruption was a key reason for the Great Flood. In Genesis, God observes the growing wickedness of humanity and decides to cleanse the earth. But was it humanity alone that was the problem? If the Nephilim represented a hybrid corruption, perhaps the flood was more about wiping out these unnatural beings. Yet the Bible says, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward. Wait, what? If the flood was meant to eliminate them, how did they survive? Some theories suggest a second incursion, where angels once again fathered Nephilim. Others believe remnants of their bloodline persisted through Noah's descendants. After the flood, the Nephilim reappear in various texts. In Numbers 13:33, the Israelite spies report seeing the Anakim, described as descendants of the Nephilim during their exploration of Canaan. They claim, "We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." Interestingly, ancient myths across cultures describe similar beings, giants with extraordinary abilities. From the Titans of Greek mythology to the Norse Jotnar, the idea of colossal, semi-divine beings appears universal. Could these stories be echoes of a shared truth, or were they inspired by the same mysterious phenomenon? Fast forward to today. The Nephilim have become a cornerstone of fringe theories. Some claim their existence is supported by archaeological discoveries, massive skeletons allegedly unearthed around the world. While most of these claims are debunked or labeled hoaxes, they fuel speculation. What if traces of these beings still exist? Others believe the Nephilim's influence persists in a more subtle way, through certain bloodlines or genetic anomalies. The idea of giant genes or supernatural traits is, admittedly, far-fetched, but it highlights how deeply this story has captured our imagination. So, what are we left with? The Nephilim are a puzzle, with pieces scattered across ancient texts, myths, and modern speculation. Were they divine rebels, symbolic representations of corruption, or simply misunderstood figures from a distant past? Here's the haunting part. If the Nephilim were real, they represent more than just a historical anomaly. They're a reminder of what happens when the natural order is disrupted, when boundaries between the mortal and the divine are blurred. And if we're still feeling their shadow today, what does that mean for our future? The Nephilim's story is one of mystery, conflict, and consequence. From Genesis to Enoch, from ancient myths to modern conspiracy theories, they force us to confront some of the most profound questions about the nature of humanity, divinity, and the unknown. Were they heroes, villains, or victims of a story bigger than themselves? Maybe we'll never know, but their legacy lives on as both a cautionary tale and a tantalizing mystery. Do you want to discover other stories as incredible as this one? Subscribe to the channel and share this video. See you soon.